Wow. What a find.
One piece. That was so cool.
As it sits right now, the bridge is technically closed.
My goodness, this is like way rougher than I thought. Hi. It's on YouTube?
Yeah, he's on YouTube.
He has YouTube?
Yeah.
This is me!
Hi, I'm Peter.
And I'm Carol.
In 2016, we sold almost everything we own, and we took our 3 teenage kids on an epic family road trip around North America and the world.
We knew we could always make more money, but we could never get back time.
As a family, we valued time more than money and experiences more than things. Along the way, our kids grew up into awesome young adults while developing the entrepreneurial skills and life experiences that have set them on their own adventurous paths. In our new chapter as empty nesters, our adventure continues both off the grid at our cabin in the wilderness and on the road exploring distant places in our well-equipped expedition truck. All right, we are, nice hot day, but we're done packing everything for the trip. Shut down the cabin, everything's off and ready to go. We've got a water taxi coming to take us to the Jeep, and we're gonna hit the road. Some of you have said if I had a place like that, I would never leave, and I mean, we feel that same way. The weather is so perfect. It's a real toss-up between staying and going, but we're excited to get up to the Arctic. This is a trip we have been wanting to do for some time. In fact, I've dreamed about getting up to the Arctic since I was a kid. We will be heading 12,500 kilometers or 8,000 miles from the Great Lakes to the Arctic Ocean and back. The kids are in Iceland filming a series with their friends at X-Overland. So it's just the 2 of us and our dog Lando. We don't know what lies ahead on this journey, but we are excited for the adventure and maybe even a swim in the Arctic Ocean. Been on the road for about 4 hours, I guess, and we're now at Lake Superior, so we're going to find a place to camp. We've got something that we found on iOverlander. Looks like a little pull off here beside the Trans-Canada and not too far from the lake. So if that spot is what they say it might be, that'd be a good place to spend the night, and then tomorrow we're going to do the whole north of Superior route. Perfect spot. Oh, those limb razors are coming in handy. We're in kind of a tight area, and they're working great. Looks like the end of the road here, though. Yeah, not getting through there. Let's go take a look. That's a no-go, but this is a perfect spot. We'll just back in here and set up for the night. We're not far from the Trans-Canada, but the Lake Superior is just that way too, so let's see what we got. I think it'll be great.
Oh, wow.
What a spot.
Unbelievable.
This is a nice little gem we found. Camped up in the bush, a few short steps, and you're here on a bay off of Lake Superior. And Lando can run. Okay, so here's a map of Canada, and this will give you an idea how far we're going on this trip. It's actually about 12,500 kilometers there and back. Let's say we're starting in this area, and we came along the Trans-Canada here, and tonight we're camped in this area right here along Lake Superior. That's all we've gone. Here's where we need to go. Up over Lake Superior, up across Ontario, into Manitoba, across Manitoba, across Saskatchewan, all the way across Alberta, onto the Alaska Highway, which starts here in Dawson Creek, British Columbia. Then we take the Alaska Highway up into the Yukon, over here to Whitehorse, and then we begin going straight north up the Dempster, all the way to Tuktoyaktuk on the Arctic Ocean. So as you can see, we've got a ways to go. Place. You'd never know it was there. It's just a hidden gem. It just looks like forest. You drive down there and you're pretty much right on the beach. So that was a great first night's sleep, and we are back on the Trans-Canada heading west. This is the what they call the Arctic watershed. So everything from this point on flows up to the Arctic Ocean. From this, it flows to the Great Lake. We pulled over on a logging road to stretch our legs and found a huge patch of delicious wild blueberries.
Wow, look how thick. I've never seen this many. Just so heavy, thick.
Trillions of them out there. No end to it. Oh well, we got enough for breakfast here.
Oof.
Wow. You could get buckets and bushels. Look at that. Just check that out.
I want to pick all of those. Like, those are massive right there. Unbelievable. How fun.
We're just gonna have to leave them all behind. If someone's looking for a meal of blueberries, there are millions of them here. We continued west until we found a beautiful camp spot by a lake. We decided to stop early today and let Lando cool off with play.
spot and it had an elk on it, and it was about that thing, the glass jar.
So this is the dead center point of Canada, the longitudinal center of Canada. 96 degrees, 48 minutes, 35 seconds. Made it to Saskatchewan, crossed all of Manitoba, but this whole area is just thousands, tens of hundreds of thousands of acres of wheat fields. It's the breadbasket of Canada. So when you have a bagel in the morning, or a wrap, or a pizza for lunch or something, this is where that grain comes from. So a beautiful place, but we are pressing westward, and we're going to try to cross the entire province of Saskatchewan today and get into Alberta somewhere. So that's the plan. Oh, we made it to the beginning of the Alaska Highway, Dawson City, BC.
Oh, there's Epic Family.
Oh, that's right. All right, we made it from Ontario to British Columbia. We are in Dawson City, and as you can see behind me, there's the sign, which is the start of the Alaska Highway. It'll take us as far as Whitehorse, Yukon, and then we'll jump on a road going north, and we'll get on the Dempster and just keep going till the end of the road. So we're excited to be here, and we can't wait to take you with us. All right, we just left Dawson Creek and are heading north. Now, when we punch the Alaska Highway into the GPS, it's routing us way across BC through Prince George and up the Cassiar. And we read that there was a closure, there was a cave-in of the Alaska Highway, but I'm looking at a report here in the Anchorage Daily News that says it's been reopened, at least for one lane of traffic to come through. So we're taking a bit of a risk, but we're gonna head this way because our goal is to go up the Alaska Highway, go all the way up to Tuk, come back down, and then go south on the Cassiar on the west side of BC. So I don't know, maybe along the way I'll try to call someone. We have friends up in Muncho Lake, and maybe they will be able to give us on the ground intel, but that's what this report is saying. Many others say it's closed for up to 8 weeks, so let's hope for the best. We are up along the Alaska Highway, and they're notifying us that there's been a truck rollover way up ahead and on a bridge, and they've blocked the road off, so there's no way of us to get through tonight. So we're here at the kind of last little settlement. We just fueled up with gas, and there's a little motel type thing here. We're also under a heavy thunderstorm warning, which we don't mind camping in, but we just don't know the area that well. So we're gonna talk to them and see if they have a room that's pet friendly. Otherwise, we know of we talked to the guy at the gas station, and there's a camping area, kind of off-grid camping area up about 12 miles up the road. So those are our options, but right now it is coming down pretty good. So let's check out this little place. It's no joke, it's raining hard. You can't walk outside and not get soaked. It's also Carol's birthday. Just we are doing an adventure on Carol's birthday, and it's, as usual, it's turning into an unpredictable adventure.
But we're trying to get enough service so that we can talk to the kids. So far we haven't been able to, and every time they can hear us but we can't hear them, like every 3 words. So that would be the best gift other than being with Pete and spending time with him. But yeah, no, so that's what we're doing here.
Let's hope they have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for just a little bit so we can say goodnight to them, because it's getting really late over there for them and they have an early start. But yeah, so let's check it out.
Let's do it.
Well, I'll let you go.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll see.
I'm gonna get soaked. Yep,
Did you hear that thunder? It
That was
like
crazy.
Lando was crying.
that was loud. The lady in there jumped like a foot in the air. I was able to secure a room in here. There's a lot of travelers coming through, and they can't get much further, and the weather being the way it is, these rooms are filling up fast. But I got one for Carol and I, and we're gonna hunker down. They're pet friendly here, so we're gonna hunker down for the night and weather the storm. Last.
Orlando will like that. Can we park here?
We could park right here, yeah. No problem. This will work. Let's check the room out though. It's very old.
I don't think it matters. We'll just be thankful for anything.
Whatever we get. That's cozy.
So they're having a grizzly problem?
Well, they have all notifications around that there's, be aware of grizzlies. They'll wander through the parking lot on a regular basis, so.
Well, this is like being in a cabin.
Yeah, cozy.
Awesome. Well, let's go pull the car over here and then get
Yeah.
Lando and our gear.
Good plan. Yo, what? Come on up. Oh.
I was standing right up and I was like, wow, that was
That
big.
was quite the lightning.
That was, it hurt like my innards. It was like
Wow.
that loud. Cozy, we're in here though.
Yeah. Happy birthday, babe. Whew. That's more than I can eat, but we'll get started. See what we can do.
So we heard that there's one lane that opened up last night, so we're super thankful for that. So we're gonna go head on down the road. I had a wonderful birthday. Thank you everyone for all the birthday wishes. Peter got me a little chocolate cookie for my cake, and the kids called, so that was just awesome to hear from them. And it was wonderful to hear from all of you, and I'm so blessed and thankful for each one of you guys.
This week we started right on the border of Alberta and British Columbia in Dawson Creek, and we headed up the Alaska Highway up to Fort Nelson and then all the way to the Muncho Lake region. Next we continue into Yukon, across to Whitehorse, and then we begin working our way up to Dawson Creek and then up the Dempster Highway all the way into Northwest Territories, right up to the Arctic Ocean. We are heading out after a great sleep and a delicious breakfast, and thankfully the road is open, as Carol said. At least one lane. They're allowing 2 vehicles to cross the bridge at a time because they're still checking the integrity of the bridge. So sounds like it was quite an event up there. A large tanker truck lost control and smashed on the bridge, and then the fuel began to burn, so there was a big fire. So I don't know, we'll see when we get up there, but at least we're back on the road. Exercise in Lando this morning. Found a dirt road here, no traffic, so we're just gonna run them probably to the base of that hill, and then we'll get back on the Alaska Highway heading north. You can tell we're in the North Country now. It's a taiga forests of endless spruce trees, and the weather's chilly compared to yesterday. It's about 20 degrees colder than yesterday, so we're excited to be in the North Country. This is the accent scene up here.
Poof, you can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's...
Some kind of oil all over the road. Must have been quite the fire.
Ooh. Oh, look at the trees and everything.
Yeah. Wow. That happened 2 days ago and they just opened it up. But looks like it was a horrible fire. The entire bridge was charred and the trees around it. So anyway, it's a warning to drive carefully as we go further into the north. We just did a little bit of reading up about that crash, and we noticed the trucks weren't crossing the bridge, so they haven't allowed trucks on it yet, just vehicles about the size of our Jeep or smaller. And the reason is because of that fire, that very intense fire. They don't know whether it damaged the integrity of the bridge or not. It looks like it might have, so there's a lot of work to do to clean this one up. And this is the only highway, the Alaska Highway, that goes up to Fort Nelson and then all the way up to Yukon. And for the community of Fort Nelson, trucks that go normally take this route. In order to get up there, it's a 3-day workaround, so they have to drive an extra 3 days to go all the way around to that town. So they're really hoping to get that bridge back up and running. So we're just pulling into, it looks like right near Fort Nelson. Just had a black bear run across the road. Lando went nuts. But yeah, we're just gonna fuel up here in Fort Nelson, and then we're carrying on north into what they call the Northern Rockies. We can't wait to get up there. It's very wild and remote and beautiful. So construction is just something you're going to encounter when you're traveling the Alaska Highway in the summer. The winters are really rough on the road, so then they spend a lot of time in the summer getting them prepared for another winter. Especially when you get up into the Yukon, where we start to get into permafrost, and that's a whole different story there. But yeah, just be prepared for big sections of gravel.
That was so cool. It happened way too fast though.
Yeah, just saw our first caribou on this trip. Beautiful, but we couldn't get the camera out on time. It's moving. But we're now in the northern Rockies, what they call the northern Rockies, and it's just such a beautiful area with wild rivers and Rocky Mountains everywhere. This is our kind of place. What you got? All right, we just filled up our Lifesaver water filter from this crystal clear stream here, surrounded in the beauty of the northern Rockies. What a gorgeous place. Normally, we've been through here a couple of times and we're usually in a hurry getting somewhere. This time we're kind of taking our time and going down all these little back roads and exploring. But this looks like there's a couple of spots where you could camp. We may just camp here, or we'll press on and find a spot near Muncho Lake or north of there. But yeah, this whole area is just spectacular, absolutely beautiful. When we started looking around, we noticed that the trail continued on the other side of the river. So we decided to cross the river and check it out. Across that river, checking out this road. I think it leads to a hiking trailhead that might go up that mountain. I'm not 100% sure, but in either case, it's a beautiful place to be, and maybe we'll find a camp spot back in here. farther back in the backcountry here. It's extremely beautiful. Just a little trail of tire tracks over the kind of the runoff area. Trail just goes on forever. We're at a place now where it goes down into a steep valley, but there's a glacier in the background, which is incredible, and just mountains in all directions. So the trail gets really narrow, and it looks like it's turned more into like a quad trail. I'm sure we could get in there with the Jeep, but we've gone pretty far today, and so we're gonna find a camp spot somewhere where we're comfortable, and then tomorrow we'll carry on. It's a long ways back to the Alaska Highway, which we'll do tomorrow. So we turned around at the spot that was overlooking the big valley and the glacier and everything, and we're just gonna head back and find a camp. We could have gone on forever. We have Caroline's binoculars, and we could see the road going down to the river and beyond. So what we did is we flagged the area on Gaia GPS, and we actually talked amongst ourselves, because our nature is we'll just keep exploring around every corner, and before you know it, we'll be way out in the wilderness. We have lots of gas. We have our auxiliary, long-range Merc auxiliary tank full, so we're not worried about fuel, but we got to stick to our mission. After a little discussion of should we go down there and camp by that river, or should we go beyond, we said, you know what, we're on a mission to get to the Arctic Ocean, so let's avoid being sidetracked from that mission. So even though this is an incredible, beautiful place, we will come back when the kids are back, and when we have both Jeeps and the bikes and the trailer and all our typical overlanding gear. Then we'll come in here and we'll go as far as we can.
I bet you it goes right to the glacier.
It must.
Like it just went, but the boys would have been there and back and told us.
With their bikes, they would have been a lot further ahead of us. But anyway, we got to stick to the mission. We're going to the Arctic, and we've made several attempts, and this time we're determined to get there. So back on track. We're heading maybe a couple of kilometers back towards the Alaska Highway. We're still way in, so it's going to be a wild camp tonight, and a beautiful spot. We broke our promise of going straight back, and we just turned to the right just to check this one area, because there's a hiking trail up here, and it just opens another amazing vista, and it looks like another glacier.
It's just never ending. Just a little bit further, and then we'll turn around.
So this is taking us down to right down to the river, so we're just going to go a little further. As we said we weren't, but you do feel a lot more secure in these wilderness areas way in the backcountry when you have two vehicles, because if something happened to one, you could tow the other one out. Here we'd be kind of at the mercy of if someone were to go by, which We haven't seen anyone since we got here, but you never know. We do have GPS to call out for a tow or something, but thankfully everything's running good and we're okay that way. But yeah, you definitely do feel a lot more secure with two vehicles. Got a view of the whole river down there. This is just an amazing spot. So we decided to just camp out here, unlike what we said earlier. But we're on the main trail that leads back out, so we'll do that in the morning. This is looks like a trailhead for a epic backcountry hiking trail, multi-day hiking trail. That's something we want to do one day as well. Very flavorful and the perfect thing after a long day on the trail. Your ears all warm in there. Yeah, boy. His ears were getting cold. Eat it. A bite.
Exactly what I'm looking for. And as we go, I'll keep running till I can. You'll always be the one I want at midnight. You'll always steal my breath away. You'll always be my heart, my life, every second, every day.
Alright, well that was a fun adventure. That's an amazing spot. If you're ever up this way and looking for, and you have a high clearance 4x4 that can get through that river, the trails are endless back there. Just don't run out of fuel because you'll be all alone. So we're back on the Alaska Highway and we are heading north. There's Muncho Lake, then the Laird Hot Springs area, and then we'll be into the Yukon probably later today if all goes well. So we're pretty excited about that, and we're excited to take you with us. One thing about the BC, British Columbia, and the Alaska Highway and all that is they have these little turnouts with bear-proof trash cans. So you will see no litter on the sides of the highway, which is really nice. And so, like we did, you pack out what you packed in, you come to the nearest pull-out, dump your trash, and keep the place beautiful.
So pretty. It's like every 5 seconds you gotta just. We have to keep on driving though, because you just want to stop.
I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, camp spots everywhere. If you come up here and you don't want to go way back into the wilderness, along the Alaska Highway, just keep your eyes open. There's little tracks going off into the most epic camp spots right along the racing river here, aqua blue waters. It's just a magical area. Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, but get up here someday and check it out. Alright, we're at Northern Rockies Lodge. We're going to get some fuel and maybe some food and carry on north. Gas is $2.50 a liter up here. It's not cheap, but I think it's just going to get more and more as we go north. That's part of the lay of the land when you're traveling in the far north. It's hard to get fuel into a place, so they have to charge more for it.
We thought we missed it at lunch. We were in the lodge and then we looked out the window and we saw this beautiful caribou run through the parking lot. And then as we drove out, there he was on the side of the road, just a young little guy, but it was so special to see. Really, really neat. I think every time we've come through here, we've seen some caribou.
Yeah, it's a great place to see wildlife. Bison territory.
I can't wait for that. It's gonna be so exciting. I don't think I've sat back on my seat yet.
I know.
Because I'm just like leaning forward, just looking for all the wildlife, and the scenery is just mind-blowing. So, but really neat. And I keep a watch out. Lando, you were really nice. You didn't scare them. Good boy.
It's much better, Lando. Right?
How fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really special.
Now
Oh, and I
on
love
to the
these little
bison.
birds. And they
Yeah.
have red on them.
They're about the same size as a sparrow. We'll have to, when we get some kind of cell coverage, we'll have to Google it, but they're pretty. Back in July, I think it was early, mid-July, there was a big storm and a flash flood and it washed out the Alaska Highway. And we're at that point right now. It was closed for quite a while, quite a few weeks, and then they made a little workaround. So that's, I guess, we're waiting now. They've got like a one lane, and you follow the pilot car to get around the washout. So that's where we are now. We didn't know coming up here. We were checking with BC Roads to see if it was open because as far as some of the people we talked to down there, it was still closed.
That's a big washout.
Yeah, they had to make a road up the road. They took us a big loop around where the big washout was, and now we're back on the Alaska Highway, and we're not too far from the Yukon Territory now. A bunch of woodlands buffalo. They're usually in pretty big herds up here, and you can see the rubs on the side of the road where they like to roll around in the dirt, but they're beautiful. Woodlands bison or buffalo, I honestly have never figured it out. There's a little baby there. I don't know if you can see him behind the trees. Just a year younger. Brand new this spring, I'm sure. We'll probably see more and get a better view of them. They're big animals, though.
Pretty cool. We just laid down, but I have a feeling normally the bulls are farther back from the main herd. So hopefully there's a big one up here. Well, that was cool. We finally got to see our herd. That was really neat. Good boy, Lando. You want to come in the Yukon?
All right, we've made it all the way to the Yukon. That section of the Alaska Highway is just incredible, especially when you get north of Fort Nelson. You get into what's called the Northern Rockies. Beautiful, beautiful place. Highly recommend going through there. Take your time driving through it, but you will get whiplash in the neck from looking from side to side. We saw so many animals, wildlife all through there. Just a wonderful trip. But now we're in Yukon. This is really just the beginning. We're excited to be here. We're excited we get to take you guys along with us. Yukon, here we come.
So this whole story is so cool. Definitely check out the museum. We've done it a few times with the kids. But it's just so neat to walk all these rows and see people that have made this same trek and brought their signs all the way from all around the world here to place here. And yeah, it's just really neat to see memories made and people leaving their mark. It's pretty cool.
Past the Stewart-Cassiar Highway where it comes into Yukon, and in 2020, I believe it was, we were coming up that way with a plan to at least get up to the Arctic Circle. It was pretty late in the year, and on our way up they closed the border into Yukon, so we got turned around. They actually let us go into Watson Lake. We had to sign a thing that we'd leave within 24 hours. So those were the crazy days of 2020, and ever since then we've been trying to get back. So this is pretty exciting for us. We're in Yukon and we're heading up.
Wow.
That should do the job, eh?
Yeah.
Nice and quiet up the road.
I think that's good.
We kind of, we know where
Oh.
things are sitting. This is a rough and rocky little place. This looks like a good spot, but we see an eye overlander marked just about 5 minutes up the road, so we're gonna just check that out. And if not, we're coming back here because we can park anywhere here, really. I like this open spot too.
Yeah, not so back there. But that one's just so tucked away.
That is tucked
but
away nice, but
that it doesn't really matter
no,
here.
even tucked in around there would be good. Well, it's still only 4:44.
I am so tired though.
I know.
I don't know why. I think it's because we saw so much beauty. It was like almost beauty overload.
You didn't breathe half the time.
And I didn't even sit back on my chair because there was wildlife. It just seemed like everywhere, in the lakes and the rivers, and oh, it was just crazy. So my mind is just like, I wanted to film everything, but yeah. And I think I lost my voice a little bit because I was like, Peter, stop! Look at that! Look at that!
Here's the other spot. Check it out. Sometimes if it's unmarked like that one, there's, you know, you'll have the place to yourself. This one's marked, but not too many people have visited, so we'll see. If it's empty, it might be a good place.
There's a spot. This one's kind of tucked away.
We'll come back to this guy.
I think there's only like that fire pit. But maybe if we can tuck up in there somewhere. I like this spot.
Yeah, it looks good. Definitely quiet. We're backed up in the forest here. Have a good night, you guys. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning. We are back on the Alaska Highway heading west towards Whitehorse. We had an amazing sleep last night in that little spot we found. It was super quiet. The traffic, anything going by on the Alaska Highway, there was like maybe one car around 7 o'clock, maybe one at 8 o'clock, and that was it. So quiet and beautiful. A little chilly this morning. Feels like fall up here, but very cozy in here, and we're enjoying a coffee as we head to Whitehorse. we found a really nice spot by the river. We're not that far from the Alaska Highway. Took a little side road in here, and this looks like it's going to be a great spot to spend the evening and the night. In uncharted territory for us. We've gone along the Alaska Highway all the way to Alaska before, but we've never gone north, and we just turned off the Alaska Highway, and from here on it is straight north all the way to the Arctic Ocean. It's going to be a couple of days getting up there, but I'm fueling up. This is the last fuel stop for quite a while, and we're just going to check out this little general store as well. Got fueled up, grabbed a little bite to eat, and just checking the oil before hitting the long drive up to Dawson City.
This is a must stop. The food is amazing. They also have showers for $4.75 here, and it's super clean. Everyone is so nice, and they have tons of history and antiques here. So check it out when you guys are coming up this way.
This week we started in the beautiful northern Rockies, the Muncho Lake region, and work our way up the Alaska Highway into Yukon to Watson Lake, and then we continue west on the Alaska Highway all the way to Whitehorse. At Whitehorse we head north on Highway 2 and take that all the way up to Stewart Crossing, where we jump onto the Klondike Highway and take that across to Dawson City. In Dawson City we'll get supplies and tour that beautiful historic place before beginning the long trek up the Dempster Highway, which takes us all the way up into Northwest Territories to Tuktoyaktuk on the Arctic Ocean. Pulled over for a quick sandwich. Carol whipped up something delicious to get us going for the afternoon. We have a couple more hours drive to get to Dawson City. So it's a little past the Dempster Highway, but we're just heading in there for supplies, and then probably tomorrow we'll get on the Dempster. So we're excited to be this far north, and the Arctic is getting closer every day.
Filming outside. We have some research to do to find out as much as we can about the history of this place. I read about it a lot when I was a kid, and we've seen some documentaries, but yeah, it's gonna be fun exploring. So we're just heading just outside of Dawson City. There's all kinds of active mines, gold mines. It's really kind of cool to see it. People digging in the ground,
heading up to an area that we've noticed on our app on Overlander, and we'll see if we can find a spot to camp up there for the night. And tomorrow we'll do a bit of exploring in Dawson City before hitting the Dempster. This is a really neat area. We set up camp right behind us here, but there's all kinds of active gold mines around here. And this is one section of the river you're allowed legally to pan for gold. And we didn't bring our gold pan. We have one, but maybe we'll pick one up tomorrow if we're sticking around, and we'll come up here and seek our fortunes. Today we're going to spend some time in the historic town of Dawson City, catching up on some correspondence after being off the grid for some time. We're going to restock our supplies and tour some of the historic sites in this former gold rush boomtown. When gold fever struck in the Klondike region, Dawson City grew to a population of 16,000. Being located at the junction of two large rivers, the town became the transportation hub for the entire Klondike region. When the easy pickings dried up and gold was discovered in Nome, Alaska, many of the miners dropped their claims and moved on. Today, there are still active placer mines operating in the region, but the main industry is tourism, as many adventurers make the long drive to northern Yukon to see the sights and relive the tales of the gold rush era. Alright, we're back up where we camped last night. This is a great spot. It's free camping. It's about 25 minutes outside of Dawson City, and it's right along Bonanza Creek, which is a world famous gold panning creek. Just walking distance from here is what they call the free claim, which is a gold claim that you can just go with a pan and pan for gold, and if you find something, you get to keep it. So we're going to do that tomorrow morning. We've spent the day in Dawson City just checking out all the historic buildings there, and that was a blast. So yeah, a good night's rest here and some panning in the morning, and then we're going to start up the Dempster. So come with us. We've got a lot of adventures ahead.
So I think Pete's having way too much fun. I wonder what's going through his brain. It's so much fun to be out here and panning for gold. Going through the Dawson City town was amazing. Just the history and just what it took to find the gold and to even get out here. It's really, really been a lot of fun. He could probably be here all day. You find some?
There's a yellow rock, but it's not gold. That's fun though. Lots of fool's gold. That's what I'm left with. I think a couple of pieces of pyrite, which is fool's gold. A couple of stones that look slightly yellow but not gold. And some very cold hands. That's cold water. That's fun. We're gonna do a few more pans, and then we better get heading up the Dempster. I wanted the gold and I sought it. I scrabbled and mucked like a slave. Was it famine or scurvy? I fought it. I hurled my youth into a grave. I wanted the gold and I got it. Came out with a fortune last fall. Yet somehow life's not what I thought it. And somehow the gold isn't all.
Alright, we've made it. We're on it.
We're at the very beginning of the Dempster. We're crossing the river and off we go. We're so excited. Like the sign said back there's no emergency medical services all the way up, and so they say drive with caution, which we're going to do, but in those type of situations, very remote places like this, what we do and what gives us the confidence to travel into these areas is we have an account with a company called Global Rescue. They're actually really good people, and they also sponsor our channel, which helps us put together these videos. But what they do is they will rescue you, medical rescue, if you get into trouble in remote areas, remote countries. They are completely worldwide. You can get a family package, that's what we have, and very reasonable in cost. And so, you know, if you ran into trouble, they will come and get you. They have a network of helicopters and pilots and medical people, doctors and experts all over the world. So it just, I think, is very, very worth having. You wouldn't leave without insurance on your vehicle or medical insurance if you're traveling to a foreign country, and we feel the same way about Global Rescue, having that in your back pocket, you know, knowing you can make a call out on your satellite device and have somebody knowing everything about you. That, you know, they know your medical history if you have such. They know where you are. You can check in on your trip. So I've been on the app checking in as we have been making our way every night. So they already know where we are and so on. So you have people that will come and take care of you very, very quickly. It's not just, you know, a catastrophic event or an event where you need to be evacuated. They are available for just a quick phone call, or you can text them from the Garmin. They'll answer questions, not only medical questions for you, so they'll have an expert, a doctor, answer your question, but they also have travel advice and travel information if you're going, you know, into other countries. So we have it here, me and Carol, as we go up. The kids have it. They're right now in the Ferry Islands. Talk about remote, where they are in the middle of the ocean, and they're heading to Iceland. But it just gives us all as a family confidence to travel, knowing we have some experts available at our beck and call. So check them out, globalrescue.com. The Dempster Highway is infamous for creating flat tires, and so we take a moment to air down to 22 psi before continuing our journey. It's a great little spot to pull over and have make a lunch or take a rest or just scope the mountains for grizzlies or whatever you're looking for. Beautiful, beautiful surroundings, and the colors are starting to really show, so it's a great time of year to be up here. make a quick stop at the Tombstone Interpretive Center to learn all we can about the region, its wildlife, and their natural habitat.
That's big.
Look what you found.
Look at that.
Muskox. Alright, we are driving through Tombstone Park right now. It's another 45 kilometers. It's just spectacular scenery. We've got really good weather. We can't quite see the top of some of the higher peaks, but the views are just amazing. In this week's video, we start in Dawson City, make our way over to the beginning of the Dempster Highway, and continue north. We go through Tombstone Territorial Park, and then find a beautiful camp right along the Blackstone River. The next day we continue further north, pushing all the way up to Eagle Plains, and then past to the Arctic Circle. We're excited to get up into the Northwest Territories and then on all the way up to the Arctic Ocean. How'd you go, buddy? Looks like a nice little camp spot, and if we get a chance, we might pull out our rods. We brought a spin caster and a fly rod, so apparently there's Arctic char and grayling in this river.
Made it to this beautiful camp. I can't believe it. Everything today has been breathtaking. Peter is out there somewhere fly fishing, and Lando and I are just kind of cleaning up and setting up camp for tonight. But we went out and explored a little bit and just soaking in the Yukon. Just gonna see if we can spot Pete, if he's caught dinner or not. Doesn't look like it, but my goodness, it looks like he's having so much fun, and that's what this is all about. Today's been so special, from this morning panning for gold with Pete and just seeing him like as if he was, you know, 10 or 11 years old again, reading all those books about the Yukon and gold mining, panning, and he's been a kid in a candy store out here, that's for sure. It's been special to see and hear all his stories, childhood stories, and now we're actually doing it. For some of you that don't know, when I first met Pete 24 years ago, he spoke of the Yukon and going up to the Arctic Circle, and then it took 25 years, but we're doing it, and it's just been so neat to just sit back and watch him on this journey, and I get to do it with him and have this time together while the kids are, I think they're heading to the Faroe Islands now, and then they're going to be on to Iceland after that with Overland, and oh my goodness, to hear their stories, it's been incredible. Well, he might have caught something. Let me just take a look. Oh my goodness, he did. He did. Oh, how cool is that? Oh, I hope you can see me. So let's go check it out. He looked a lot closer through the binoculars. It's quite a walk. But oh, man, this is, yeah, I can't say it enough. It's a trip of a lifetime, that's for sure. See if I can jump that.
Nice catch. They're biting on this fly, that's for sure. Hang on, buddy. They're biting on this fly. Catching some nice fish here, one after another. I'm just letting them go back in the water, so I gotta put this guy back in real quick, but man, they're just biting on every fly I cast. It's amazing. Rapids, there's a bit of a pool. They're having a good look in there. That was fun. What a great spot. I'm loving this area. It's just so remote and wild. The fish were biting. I threw them in, but now I'm having second thoughts about that. Would have been great to do up a fish fry, but we'll do that when we get farther up. And I heard also the whitefish are running up there, and the people, they call them the local natives, have been catching them and they're drying them, so I can't wait to see that, and we'll buy some off of them and have a few meals of whitefish. That's gonna be great. I think I told you earlier, but I got my boots wet walking across the river, but I knew we had the Webasto, and it is just blasting hot air into the boots. They're almost dry. That's pretty cool. I'm happy about that.
And tonight's dinner, something really, really simple.
Yeah, and it's also good in grizzly country. It keeps the scent down. We wouldn't want to be cooking a big steak or something right now, so it's fast, easy, and grizzly friendly. No, the opposite. Bear safe, I guess.
We'll let that sit for about 10 to 12 minutes and that will be done. So some of you have been asking me what sleeping bag Pete and I use or what bedding we use. We use the Nanga from Big Tent, and it's a double wide sleeping bag, but you can unzip either side so that, like, if you want to kick a leg out, or I don't know, I like them both unzipped. Pete and I prefer that, but it is so warm and so fluffy. It's amazing. I just love it. There's the kids. It's kind of raining, so I was gonna do some reading inside with a view. I also use, when I'm sitting up in the rooftop tent, this. It just makes it so easy, and then it just flattens down, sits underneath the mattress. That way you can sit in comfort, grab your pillow, grab your book. But yeah, so that's the bedding we use. Morning, we were just pulling out of the best camp spot. That was so much fun fishing and such a quiet spot. And we're getting back on the Dempster and continuing north.
Onto Highway 5.
Got a long ways to go still. I think we've gone about 150 clicks and we have 880 total, so.
It's just hard to keep going because it's so beautiful.
I know. Anyway, that's a great spot. Marked it if you're into fly fishing. The grayling we're biting. time of year. It's a little bit chilly, but not cold. We had our heater going. That thing is super nice on a cold morning, but the colors are spectacular, and the other thing is there's no bugs at all. I mean, I sat out last evening and not a single mosquito, so we've heard from other people that come up here and, you know, they're battling mosquitoes, but I guess that would be June and July, maybe early August, but not a bug out there, so it's a beautiful time of year to travel up here. Well, we made it to Eagle Plains. This must be the only fuel in town, I believe. So we're going to fuel up before hitting the... and see what else we can do here in town. Maybe get some food, or I don't know what facilities they have. But we'll check it out and let you know.
So we just ate. That was pretty cool.
That was awesome. Tiny little Eagle Plains. There's about 3 buildings in the town. Motel, which is also a restaurant, and your grocery store, and then the fuel station. That's all you need. Get everything stocked back up and carry on. So we're heading north now from Eagle Plains. Probably going to cross into the Arctic Circle today and find a place to camp. Section of the Dempster highway doubles as an airstrip, so they actually land planes on here. So there's a sign back there that said keep an eye open for planes coming down. It's pretty interesting. All right, we made it. This is a milestone. We made it to the Arctic Circle. We're gonna take a picture
In
by the
100
sign,
meters,
and then we're
turn
going to carry
right.
on. We pulled off the road on a nice little side road here, and it should be a camp spot up at the top. And if so, it's a beautiful spot. We're not that far from Northwest Territories. We're within the Arctic Circle now, and yeah, we're just gonna get camp set up and hunker down for the night. And then tomorrow we should be able to push probably up to Inuvik. Inuvik? Yeah, Inuvik. I was saying it wrong all these years. I used to say Inuvik with a U sound, but they told me, the locals said it's Inuvik. Anyway, we'll push up to Inuvik tomorrow, hopefully, and then the next day up to Tuktoyaktuk. Where do you want to be?
Back in right up to that one, so we have the view.
Looks like a firework for us. Let's do it.
So quiet. What do you think, Lando? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna get Pete to heat this up while we start chopping. Some of you have asked me, what is it like to cook for 2 instead of 5? It's a lot different. Like, we've had this head of cabbage for basically the 3 weeks now, and we're still not even close to being done with it, where normally this would be a whole meal with all 5 probably. But I find that we're just kind of more eating out together, enjoying ourselves, and just slowing down a whole lot more. But this I'm really excited about. Pete bought this for my birthday. It's really tiny, as you can tell. It's about the size of my hand. Isn't that cute? So I'm gonna basically just use up what we have, and I picked up some local meat in a town that we were just in, so we're excited to try this. And hopefully we can use all this up.
Alright guys, we had a wonderful day. We made pretty good headway. We're way up here in the Arctic Circle, and it's right now just about 11 o'clock at night, and the sun behind me is just setting. What a gorgeous sunset. This whole trip so far has been amazing. We've loved every minute of it, and we've still got a long ways to go to the Arctic Ocean. That's our goal. Tomorrow we're going to keep heading north, so just want to say good night. Hope you have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Today we're not going to make breakfast, we're just going to hit the road, but first we're going to have coffee. We've got some sample blends here, and they're flavored coffee, a sweet cinnamon pecan, and a couple other samples. What we're planning on doing is making what we're going to call the cabin blend for our cabin up north, and when we decide on the flavors and we're getting close, we're going to make it available to you probably later this fall. So keep your eyes open if you love coffee for a very cozy cabin blend coming soon.
All right, so we are doing a taste testing. Need coffee first. What's
Easy for you to say. Wow.
Oh, this is cozy.
Cabin blend?
Mm-hmm. I like it. That's the road. You made it up in flip-flops.
Made it to the Northwest Territories. This is actually our first time in this territory. So we had done every province in one territory, so check that off. There's just one more, Inuvik, but I don't think you can drive up there. So we'll have to fly into that one. We cross into Northwest Territories. We take a ferry across the Peel River and then the Mackenzie River before making our way to Inuvik for supplies, and then all the way up to Tuktoyaktuk in the Arctic Ocean. All right, we're at the first river crossing. This is the Peel River. Lots of big eagles here. Beautiful. Alright, we're across carry on.
Prepare to take the ferry after 800 meters.
We're now going to be taking a ferry across the Mackenzie, and we're in the area known as the Mackenzie Delta, this whole region. It's so different from what we've come from. We've come out of the mountains now, and it's low, and it's taiga forest. Typically this high in the Arctic we're above the tree line, but because of the Mackenzie River Delta has brought so much soil to the area over the years, and it also keeps the temperature a bit warmer, it's created the perfect growing conditions for these type of white black spruce. So it's a neat place to be. We are way up in the far north now. Ready to cross the Mackenzie River? If we can get on.
Yeah, it looks pretty full.
There's a big truck with a bulldozer. It's going to take up most of the space. We'll see. Alright, we made it on. It's a well-loaded ferry, but we got on, so that's good.
But I watched your videos. Yeah. How's it going? Good. You guys? Good.
Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, we are on the other side of the Mackenzie River. We have about 370 kilometers to get to the Arctic Ocean, so we're gonna push pretty good today and see how far we can get. This stretch here is known for its loose gravel and a lot of dust, no matter how fast you go. It's pretty smooth and you can move along at a pretty good clip, but you got to be very aware of driving conditions. And we have someone in front of us, but they're at least a kilometer ahead. We're staying back so as to protect our windshield and to be able to see. Alright, we made it to Inuvik. We're on pavement. We haven't seen pavement since, I don't know when, Klondike, I guess?
Yeah.
Klondike Highway. So I'm not sure how big the town is, but we're going to pick up supplies and fuel, and then it's a couple hundred kilometers to Tuktoyaktuk in the Arctic Ocean. And it is 1:25. We're probably just going to push, eh? What do you think, Carol?
I think it's 161 kilometers from here.
Okay, so that'd
not
be
bad.
about 2 hours depending on the condition of the Dempster. So exciting. We're getting way up there now. Inuvik is a town of about 3,400 people living on the east side of the Mackenzie Delta. The town lies over permafrost, and the buildings are built on stilts above the ground. The Dempster Highway was completed to Inuvik in 1968, but for 2 months of the year it is accessible only by air, while the rivers freeze over, forming an ice bridge for vehicles to pass over. Due to its northern location, Inuvik experiences an average of 56 days of continuous sunlight every summer and 30 days of polar night every winter. We picked up a few supplies at the grocery store before continuing north. I got number 18 along here somewhere. We said to go look at it, and then number 2 is available way down at the end.
Now you can see it's on.
Yeah.
Now you're doing a video.
Oh.
So
So what's
Oh.
this?
So then you can hold it. So now whatever's on the screen, you're videoing.
Hi.
Come say hi for
Why?
the video.
Oh.
It's
Hi.
on YouTube.
Yeah, he's on YouTube.
He has YouTube?
Yeah.
This is me!
Say hi to all of our people on YouTube. Say hi.
Hi!
What do you got? Whitefish? Or-
Yeah, whitefish cleaned. There's a lady that fishes down on the pier or on the point. Look at how beautiful this is. But yeah, so if you ever come down this way, definitely go down there and get some fish off of her. She's the sweetest lady ever, and this is just so fresh and heavy. And it's about $25 a bag, but it is so worth it.
All right, we made it to Tuktoyaktuk in the Arctic Ocean. That was an amazing journey. It's such a long road. I know it's 880 kilometers from the Klondike up to here, but it's different than driving paved kilometers, that's for sure. It's rough road in some areas, pretty smooth in others, but it's a gravel trail the whole way. We found some amazing camp spots, and it's just great to be up here in the community of Tuktoyaktuk. We've already met a lot of local people. They're very friendly. We bought some fish. The kids fell in love with Lando. So we're having a taco salad that Carol put together for us, and we're gonna just maybe go for a walk, see a bit of the community.
Yeah, we can't wait for tomorrow to go exploring and take you guys with us, and maybe we'll jump in, maybe we won't.
For sure I'm gonna dip my toes in. We'll see if we go any further than that. You have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Lando's friend.
So we have some belugas, and they're just coming up in the ocean in front of us. Pure white, beautiful to see. And our friends from Idaho went swimming, and he's 67, so I no longer have an excuse. He's keeping an eye on us. We met him at a couple of traffic stops where they were doing construction. He challenged me, and so he's going to probably come over and get me in the water.
But first, coffee.
First coffee.
So Pete saw you go in, and he goes, "Oh, I have to go in now." And she's ready. Yeah. Come on, Peter. Ready? Okay. Woo. Let's go this way. Okay, we just have to go in.
Go in. We did it. Got that. Not good either.
I think it's time to get out though. It's cold. We did it though. Oh, that's fun. I'm kind of numb.
This is a beluga sighting.
Oh, that was the best ever. And I got to do it with Pete. Whew. It's well worth it.
It looks like they worked with a wooden structure building and then put blocks of sod on top. And the fireplace is right in the middle. Very similar to what we saw in Newfoundland, way up in Lansing Meadows. So I think this structure demonstrates what's underneath the sod house. So they first build it looks like half logs, walls and everything, and then they covered over with the big chunks of sod. Good morning. We had a great sleep there on the Arctic Ocean, and we've had a lot of fun. Met some great people. We've got fish from the ocean here, whitefish, that we're going to take with us and make some meals. The dip in the ocean was just so much fun. So we've enjoyed our short visit to Tuk. One thing to keep in mind this time of year, there's some benefits. The colors coming up are amazing, and there's no mosquitoes, but it also is a very sleepy town this time of year. It's off season for any tourists coming up, so we woke up this morning and the whole place is quiet as can be. I haven't seen a soul yet, and it's around noon. So I think Sunday is a shutdown day, so very quiet and beautiful, but you're not going to get into the stores and restaurants, of which there's only about 2 or 3. So that's fine by us because we're heading back south. But we really enjoyed our time in Tuk, and wonderful people. So we went out to look at the pingoes, which were really neat, and they're actually these formations where the permafrost pushes the ground up into these huge hills. And we talked to someone there, and they said it takes hundreds of years to form, and then they get so heavy that they actually push themselves back down, and that takes another couple hundred years. So really neat formations that are only in this area.
I should just probably hike just down this ridge, and then if I can get just close enough to identify it, but I'm like 99% sure.
I'll come with you. I'll move up ahead a little bit. So Carol's walking out into the tundra. She, this whole way, has been looking for an antler, as she always does. And she's looking, in this case, for a caribou antler. She thinks she sees one, so she's hiking in there. I'm gonna go with her in a minute. She's just going over the ridge to take a look with her binoculars and see if she can 100% identify it, but then I think it would be quite a hike in. So crazy girl, but she loves those antlers, and it's fun for her. It's like panning for gold for her. So I think found an antler, believe it or not. That's my crazy Carol.
That was hard. Good thing I had a Swiss Army knife, because this was all under the marsh.
Wow,
And it,
what a
I broke
find.
off one piece digging it out. They're old, but
They are cool.
they're fine.
Good job.
Nothing like it. Whew, that was a big trek. And half the time you're sinking up to your knees
Yeah,
in holes.
well done.
I knew there was something there. Only the whites were sticking out, but they were only about 10 feet from each other.
Nicely done.
That was awesome.
Good job.
That was fun. We stopped here on the hill for a phone call from the kids, and we couldn't get them, so we were just waiting and waiting and waiting because the internet or the Wi-Fi isn't so good. And then I was just scanning out there, and I thought I saw something. I kept on losing it. I didn't realize how far that is in marsh or the tundra, because it drops down like a foot or two and you're sinking. But we got them. They're old, but I love them. They're something special about this whole trip. My hair's still wet from swimming in the ocean, and then I get to find some caribou antlers, and it was a set just about 10 feet from each other. But luckily I had my, oh, I don't know where it is now. My hands are still shaking. My little Swiss Army knife to cut away the moss and the roots, because it was buried in just a little tiny bit showing. I really thought it was just going to be like some of this flower that you see with the white tops, but there was just something about it that I was like, that is an old antler, but it's an antler. So that's pretty bucket list check right there. Super stoked.
Way to go. I'm proud of you.
That was big.
Well, you did it.
I know, and here we were just in town looking if we could just buy one, because I was desperate for one, and here, something even way more special, our very own.
You hiked out to get.
Yeah, like my fingernails are shot from digging that up. Yeah, they're probably from today.
Grizzly?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a young one.
Yeah. Nice set of claws on it. Yeah. Well, let's drive in and take a look at the camp spot. We can always go 3 kilometers back to the river.
Okay.
All right, we decided to go back, just backtrack a little bit, a few clicks to the river. Not that there was anything wrong with that site. We'd camp there for sure, but the river looks so pretty, and we love the sound of the river at nights, and lots more room there for Lando to play. So we're heading back a little bit, and we'll get camp set up.
The soup has survived the trip, kind of. We're just going to do soup and grilled cheese sandwiches.
This can be delicious. Thanks, babe. Good morning. We are still above the Arctic Circle here on the Dempster Highway. Had a great sleep. Found this little spot by the river last night, and it was awesome. Very quiet. So we're making a coffee, and we're gonna keep going south on the Dempster. dust at all because we've had a gentle rain and it's taken care of it. It's 4 degrees Celsius right now, so it's been an amazing trip up here. We've had some incredible weather. This is really, well, we've had a few patches of rain here and there, but it's been wonderful. So Dempster Highway, Tuktoyaktuk, what a great experience. We're back at the Mackenzie. It looks windy out there and choppy, but should be good. We'll be across, and then we have one more crossing, and then we'll be probably back to the start of the Arctic Circle. It's windy, all right. I don't know if they're delaying because of the wind or just waiting till things calm down a bit or what, but we'll see how it goes. We're still waiting here at the ferry. It is too windy to go. I just talked to the gentleman in front of me, and he said they're waiting for the wind to die down. So I guess this is part of, you know, being in the North Country. You're at the mercy of the weather. It's rough country, and they don't want to take any risks.
I give up.
Yeah?
I was gonna stay, but I was saying, what am I gonna do in Inuvik? It's raining like crazy there now.
Is it?
It's gonna be boring.
He lives in Inuvik, so he's heading back up there. He gave up on trying to get through. So they're just doing circles out there. They must be testing the wind. I'm not sure what they're doing, but well, that's not looking promising. They just spun around a few times out there and then had some difficulty making it back to the landing spot. They put down the gate and they've just put a barricade across, so I don't know. Unless the wind dies down, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, it is now 12:30. We're still sitting here waiting for the ferry. It hasn't moved since it made those maneuvers, but from our vantage point here, it looks like there's fewer whitecaps on the river. There's still some, and there's a bit of activity going on there. There used to be a big machine parked on the road, and they've moved that, and somebody in a white truck went down there and they opened the gate that was across. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can cross the river soon.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, we are moving.
Never felt so good.
Yeah, no, I've never wanted to cross the river so bad. Wow, it is windy down here. It's still windy as can be. It's going to be probably a rough ride.
Way rougher than I thought. It's not a nice feeling. Now I see why they had us wait. That's crazy. So they're just gonna drift in.
Yeah. Feels like they turned the engines off and letting the waves push us in. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you bet.
Good job. All right, we made it. We are on dry land. That was a wild ride. They did a good job though. We're at the Peel River Ferry crossing, and there's no wind, and it looks like it's fully operational, so that's good. So this ferry is a cable ferry. Very interesting. There's a cable run from shore to shore, and it just pulls itself along the cable. Thank you. You're traveling with a dog that likes to run like Lando, and you obviously can't have him run on the Dempster. There are these little communication towers along the way, and some of them have really nice long driveways up there, so that's a perfect spot to let your dog out and get some exercise.
It's lunchtime.
Lunchtime, just doing a quick MRE. Pre-made. We've been eating a few of these, not this brand necessarily. We've picked out several different brands just to make sure we didn't get one that's super salty or anything. And they've all been decent, but what we want to do, our long-term plans, is to buy our own freeze dryer. And what I've been reading up on those is you can make your favorite meal, like make a beautiful curry meal, make it double what you're going to eat, and then take the second half, freeze dry. It takes 24 hours, I think, and pack it in a Mylar bag. And so going forward on the Epic Family Road Trip, at some point we're going to have our own freeze-dried foods that we take on trips. Traversed the Northwest Territories and we're crossed into Yukon now again, heading south. The colors are spectacular, as you can see, because of the rain, and I think it's darkened the rock, which was kind of gray before. It's now almost black, and so the yellows and reds just pop. What a beautiful, beautiful place. And we're just constantly going wow when we look out, because it's so expansive and huge and wild. Just an amazing place. It's 3 degrees. We're pretty high in the mountains here. We're in the clouds a little bit, but it looks like we're coming down. So the other thing that impresses you so much on the Dempster is the change in landscape and geography and flora and fauna. So we came out this morning from the low tundra. We're now in the mountains and we're still above the tree line. So we'll be getting into the forests later, probably tomorrow. We just passed a Jeep with a flat tire and then a Lincoln SUV with a flat tire. It's crazy. The people with the Jeep said it's their 3rd flat tire on this trip. The last repair job they had done by a shop up in Inuvik, and they, you know how there's a special key? We gave them ours to see if it would fit because it was a Wrangler, but our wheels are much bigger than theirs. So we couldn't help them because they think the shop that did the repair accidentally kept their key for their tires, so they can't. They're stranded and they're in the middle of nowhere. So we wrote down their milepost, our kilometers. They're kilometer 436. So when we get to Eagle Plains, we're just going to let somebody know where they are and to go back and help them out. Slow down a bit, air down your tires. Only attempt this road with high quality tires. If you buy cheap tires, you're not going to make it. On the way in, I don't know, we counted at least 5-6 vehicles pulled over trying to change tires, so keep that in mind if you do the Dempster. Alright, we made it to the bridge, the blocked bridge. I was expecting much bigger lineups. Alright, so the adventure continues. We've been here for at least 2 hours. There's vehicles that have been sitting there for 4 hours or more. As people come in from the north, they're asking questions on the way down, and we're getting all kinds of different stories and rumors of what's gonna happen. But the latest one says someone's supposed to come around 7 o'clock. It's now 5:50, almost 6 o'clock, and that's what we're kind of holding on to. Everybody's excited because a white truck came down, but they stopped on the other side of the bridge, so not sure what that means.
Essentially, at this point, as it sits right now, the bridge is technically closed. Now, what we have been doing today is under very strict travel conditions, I guess I'm going to call them. We have been letting light traffic through that have been stuck on either side of the bridge. Yeah, as I don't know the damages on the other side, but the bridge is badly damaged. It needs to be traveled carefully and cautiously. Around 7:30, I'm planning to, and I know it's a little while out, but I'm planning on coming back with more people, and we're going to do another. You will not be here overnight. Last night we did have people tenting in the back of the Manitoba truck.
Wow.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Now that I'm looking at it.
Wow. So that was an adventure.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna let us go through now, but we got to sit for about, what is it, 3.5 hours or so?
Yeah. Maybe
Talking
4.
to so many wonderful people. Like, they feel like family now.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
So many good laughs and just sharing stories of travel, and just, it actually turned out really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple from Germany behind us. Hey guys, if you find our YouTube channel, it was nice meeting you. And then the folks we were just talking to, we just had to run because it looked like they moved the barricade, and we do not want to miss, the opportunity to cross. But it's funny with these things, they're not pleasant sometimes, but they can turn out to be a great, especially when you make it. We were hearing rumors, people are coming in from the north, and everybody had their own version of the story, but someone was saying it could be, sometimes up here it could be weeks. So this is just a big relief for everyone. Now the problem is we were going to stop in Eagle Plains, but of course no traffic's coming north, so the place is packed, so we're going to go beyond that. And then they said the gas station, the one gas station within hundreds of miles, shuts down normally at 7, so they were going to try and convince them to stay open longer, because a lot of these folks are on they were just coming in on fumes to get gas in Eagle Plains. We have a full auxiliary tank, so we'd be fine. The adventure continues, and one by one we're going carefully across the damaged bridge.
Super thankful.
Come on, bridge, you can do it. We're not that heavy.
I'm flying to dent that piece. Pretty cool.
Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
No worries.
Have a good one.
Woohoo! We're back on the road.
Let's make sure our friends from Germany get across with their RV. They were the biggest vehicle in the group, and they were so relieved when he said, "Yeah, I think you'll be fine."
Yeah, this is a Class C.
If there's a Class A, they wouldn't let them across. So thankfully there were none in the lineup.
Awesome.
They're coming. Yep, they're good. Yeah, they're probably whooping it up in there. They wanted to get across so bad.
That's awesome.
Well, we're carrying on.
The journey continues.
Let's see what's next.
That's unbelievable.
So these are all folks that were stuck up in Eagle Plains.
Soft spot.
Whoa. So that was a big crowd of people that were all bunched up in Eagle Plains. That probably, increased the population of Eagle Plains by 100. It's a small town. It's a village of, I don't know, probably 20 people. And only 2 buildings. There, a gas station and a little hotel. But it looks like everybody's being led across the bridge, so I'm happy for them. They can get on their journey and we can get on ours.
Well, when we first got here, there was nobody here.
Yeah.
Well, let's just ask and see, yeah?
Yeah, I guess. Man, oh man, all the trucks are backed up.
It looks pretty full, but...
Alright, we decided to stay here. After all, they had a room, a pet-friendly room, one left, so that way we can get a hot shower and hit the road first thing in the morning, all fueled up and good to go. We just had a great sleep here at Eagle Plains Hotel, which is just across that bridge we were crossing last night. At that point we were kind of tired and weary, and we had the option to go further and find a camp spot, but a hot shower sounded really good, and a hot meal. They have a nice restaurant here, so if you're ever up this way, make a point of stopping in. It's a fuel stop as well, so clean rooms, good food, and we're all rejuvenated and ready to get back on the Dempster Highway heading south.
I need to get to the windows so I can see. I don't know if that's working.
Section of the Dempster, if it gets rainy or if it rains, it gets really muddy, which you can see now. But he was saying if the sun comes out, it actually dries pretty quick, so the sun just popped out, so maybe it'll improve as we go. Good morning. We had a great sleep right beside the Blackstone River, and we are back on the road this morning bright and early, heading south on the Dempster. It's showing -4 right now, probably even colder last night, but we were warm and toasty in our Jeep camper with the heater. That thing is keeping us super warm. It's just a luxury for us. We're used to being in a rooftop tent, so you really have to bundle up, but having a heater that kicks in whenever the temperature gets to whatever you set it, it's almost like being in a house. It's a luxury we're not used to, and it is a really nice one. That thing will burn at full burn for 30 hours straight on 1 gallon of gas, so we don't even come close to that. And the beauty is it's tied into our auxiliary fuel tank, so we don't have to worry about carrying extra diesel or propane or anything. You just turn it on and it starts to heat up. So that has been a game changer for us. A nice little feature to have, something to consider if you're building a rig. So we're heading south. We're currently in Tombstone Territorial Park. We are going to stop and do a hike on this crisp, cold morning, and then carry on south.
Beautiful hike, beautiful day. What about the cranberries?
Hey, we're at the Tombstone Interpretive Center, which is in the park here, and we came here on the way up the Dempster, and they gave us a loaner of a book that has some information about, you know, every 10 or 20 kilometers along the way there'll be something of interest, and it'll give you the information. And then on the way out they just ask that you drop the book back off, so Carol's gone up to put it in the drop box, and then we're going to carry on. But yeah, I'd highly recommend getting that. It gives you some really neat history as you go.
We did it.
We made it. We did the whole Dempster. Thankfully we had no tire issues. We saw so many people with tire issues. We didn't want to say anything about it till we made it all the way, but these X3 grabbers from General Tire are really high quality, did a great job. We're going to air them up now and decide whether we go to Dawson or to Whitehorse. On the sign there it says that the Dempster is completely closed both ways up at Eagle Bridge, so whew, we got in at the right time, and we're thankful that we got out as well. And they were letting people north. Most of them were going to spend the winter in Inuvik, but there were some travelers going north, and they warned them that you may not get out. So I feel for those folks, if they're not doing any exits whatsoever, they would have to leave their vehicle in Inuvik and fly home. So anyway, it worked out well the way it did for us, and we made it. Do you want the honor of checking off the Dempster?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's caked on there. Hello. Done. Accomplished.
And caribou shad. Take a look. What do we got?
I don't know if I can do. This is so thick. This is so thick. 3.
I've been happy for you.
I
I knew how much you wanted to do that.
Love you.
Love you.
And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.